News Channel 7. This is the news at 6.
Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. Protesters on the Old Ada County Courthouse lawn are not leaving.
Even after the state filed a lawsuit last week asking for a court order to remove the protesters for violating state law. Our Andrew Bartline is there live.
He talked to the attorney representing these demonstrators. It sounds like the attorney is calling state law into question, Andrew.
Yeah, well, the injunction filed on this lawsuit that we got from the Attorney General's office last week cites the state's right to regulate or prohibit camping on this property through a 2013 court precedent. But the attorney representing these protesters says there's a 2019 court precedent that he played a hand in that could potentially overturn it because, as he says, this could be a violation of the 8th Amendment. That's your protection against cruel or unusual punishment. Protesters on the Old Ada County Courthouse lawn caught Howard Belodoff's attention, an attorney at Idaho Legal Aid.
We're seeing true democracy as far as I'm concerned. We're seeing demonstrators who are conveying a message. That message? Create more affordable housing and more low-barrier shelter beds. The response from lawmakers? A lawsuit from the governor's office. The 20-page injunction asks for a court order to remove the protesters and their belongings. Belodoff now represents those protesters. Is that what they want? They just want to remove all those sleeping bags? Or they just don't want to see them? They don't want them to be visible.
The injunction cites a 2013 court case, Waters versus Otter, that grants the state the ability to regulate and restrict the act of camping on state property that's not a campground. The court ruled camping is not a protected form of speech. Camping is partially defined in state code as bringing personal belongings, such as a sleeping bag or cookware, but Belodoff says it unfairly singles out homeless people.
So when you say an addition of camping is a blanket, well, where is a homeless person going to put that? They have to keep it with them. They have to put it on to stay warm, or a tent, or a sleeping bag.
Idaho State Police have continuously removed items defined in state law as camp gear throughout the protest.
The troopers have been professional, they've been courteous and respectful, but they have to follow orders. I don't blame them. I blame the people who order them.
Belodoff calls those orders unconstitutional. He served as the lead attorney for the 2019 court case Martin versus the city of Boise. The court ruling struck down a similar city of Boise law also banning camping. The court ruled the city law was unconstitutional as long as shelters were full and people experiencing homelessness had nowhere else to go. The court ruled that law violated the 8th Amendment, a protection against cruel or unusual punishment.
The government cannot punish homeless people for the status of being homeless.
The Martin versus Boise ruling is only relevant if homeless shelters are full. Interfaith Sanctuary Homeless Shelter Executive Director Jody Peterson-Steigers says their shelter is often full. She says Interfaith Sanctuary has a strong working relationship with the Boise Rescue Mission, a shelter system that says they have open beds.
On any given night that we don't have enough beds, we call the rescue mission.
Peterson-Steigers says some people will not take shelter at the rescue mission because it's known to have more rules for its guests.
We respect how they make that decision, but in fact, on any given night that we can't find space, there is not necessarily a bed for that person at the rescue mission. And it's okay, we just need to be honest about that.
And for these people who have nowhere else to go but the street, Belodoff questions the validity of the state law banning camping and possibly stopping the protest.
Sleeping bags and tents are not a threat to anybody.
The Attorney General's office does not comment on pending litigation, but as we heard there at the end from Jody Peterson-Steigers, some of these people perhaps have nowhere else to go. These protesters are not leaving. In fact, I've been out here for a couple hours today. I've seen more come in as the day's gone on. Doug?
All right, Andrew, going to have to wait to see, I guess, how this plays out in court. Thanks for that report, Andrew.